afternoon po sa inyong lahat.
Yeah.
To Ami,
Good
to
afternoon,
Patrick,
Senator.
to Ami, to
Yeah.
Patrick, to
Yeah.
Ed, and to Sec Ronald. Pasensya na, I just came out from the event. And
Yeah.
that is the LP and the ML. This morning was the ML,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
Mamamayang Liberal. And then in the afternoon at 1:30 was the Liberal, the LP National Executive Council meeting where several resolutions were passed.
Yes,
Long time no
including-
see, Senator. Kamusta ba kayo? Relax naman
Eto.
kayo ngayon? Nakapagpahinga? Oh.
Hindi.
Hindi
Sa
ka
totoo
nagpakulot,
lang,
parang si Cassie.
hindi. Because up until last night, I'm still doing discernment and doing consultations about my decision as to if it's a go for ML, because I think narinig nyo naman dati,
Yes, ma'am.
I already announced that I am not running at all for any position, whether it's senatorial, party list, or any other elective position for next year. But then when I was going around and then meeting people, mga events, speaking engagements, and I'm always asked about that. So I would say, no, I don't have plans. But then some of my friends, some of my colleagues in the LP had urged me to consider, if not Senate, then a party list. Now, I assessed the situation. The pragmatic in me told me that I should go na lang for the party list instead of senatorial. Because,
Okay.
there is this sectoral wing of the LP, which was newly accredited by the COMELEC, although it has been in existence for several years already as the sectoral wing. It's a multi-sectoral organization. But it was only recently in July that the COMELEC and Bank granted the accreditation of ML as party list that can participate for next year's party list elections. And so the initial nominees, the first two nominees, were supposedly former Congressman Ted Bagilat and former Congressman Erin Tanyada. But then when they talked to me, and then, I manifested yesterday or the other day that I am seriously considering it, and I was glad to know that the two of them were willing to slide down to number 2 and number 3, so that I could take the first nominee, the lead nominee, and going over really what ML stands for, because as a sectoral wing of the LP, as I said, and this could be the platform where LP could further broaden its base through sectoral formations of various sectors, and bring it closer to the ground, to the community, to the marginalized. Kasi di ba yun ang mga palaging pinupuna sa LP, na hindi daw masyadong nakaka-connect sa baba because may mga elitista daw. And all those labels thrown at LP in the course of the vilification campaign against LP, especially during the last administration. So through this platform of a party list, I can pursue further the main advocacy of social justice for all of these sectors, side by side with promoting and pursuing the core values of the LP: freedom, democracy, justice, social justice, anti-corruption, transparency, accountability, and good participatory governance. So yun po yung aking mga naging consideration, if I can help out. And then in the House of Representatives, I think we need more fiscalizers there. We see from the Senate that both houses actually are very busy now with all of these issues, with all of these inquiries, and probably we can anticipate that there would be more issues, more mga pagkakaabalahan ng mga tao, especially mga national issues, and perhaps I can help out. Perhaps I can lend my voice in those inquiries and in pursuing again the legislation for the sectors that ML represents.
Ma'am, of course, we do understand what you're saying na it does seem to be more realistic, aiming for a party list position. But at the same time, aren't you also risking losing national standing, for example? Kasi siyempre iba yung party list eh. Iba po yung if you run for the Senate or if you run for any national position, medyo iba po yun. That seems to be quite a strategic move, whether it's a step forward or step back, I don't know. But hindi ba ang laking taya, ang laking sugal?
I'm not prepared to say, or I do not think at all that it will be diminution of the national stature. Because through the ML, through the party list, and through the causes that it would be advancing, the proposed legislation that it would be putting forward in relation, again, as I said, to the core values of the Liberal Party, then it actually all depends on me, on how to pursue those advocacies and how hardworking would I be in terms of, once again, proving myself as a public servant in a slightly different forum now, but there's still legislation, it's still advocacies. So I don't think I would have that concern about the possible diminution of
Senator,
my stature.
Senator,
Yes.
I understand that. What are the political calculations here? Because the bottom line is the Liberal Party needs to win. The elections are coming in, and the bottom line is you need to win seats, whether in the Senate or in the House of Representatives.
Yes.
What's the political
Yes.
calculation here? Does the Liberal Party feel that there's a stronger chance for the LP to win a seat through the party list system than running in the Senate, which appears to be a very, very tight race? Tight and
That
crowded.
seems to be the general consensus, and that is why so far, and it happened in the NECO meeting, the National Executive Council meeting this afternoon, that one of the resolutions passed was nominating Senator Kiko Pangilinan as the official candidate for LP, and right now he's the only official candidate for LP. Now it's being pragmatic about it. But you know how tight the race is for the senatorial. If you look at the surveys, who are really there in the top 12, although we expect that there would be improvements on that, then why don't we just really put just one or two or at most three from the Liberal Party, and then maybe ally with other candidates allied to our causes. Our political allies, the parties, the Akbayan Party, and others like the Magdalo Party, etc. Now, it is a strategic move that in terms of the House of Representatives, the LP, through its sectoral wing, ML, would field more people, because right now we don't have that. For the ML, the sectoral, we have some district representatives, but not in the party list. And we feel that in advocating the advocacies of both ML and LP, LP would be more visible, LP would be more helpful, and LP would be more appreciated in terms exactly of what the contribution of the party is. Because to be honest, we are really struggling in the past few years. We need to reinvigorate. We need to rekindle. We need to re-energize or energize our ranks, especially the base. And it's just really proper and foreseeable that we will be relying on the Kakamping base, our base in 2022. Both for the LP candidate, national candidate, LP, senatorial, and for the House of Representatives through the party list, ML, Mamamayang Liberal, and of course our local candidates of LP.
Pero ma'am, wala
Senator.
ba Ay, sige, I mean, go ahead first.
No, Senator, follow up ko lang yung tanong ni Ed about the diminution. Kasi among all the parties, of course, Liberal Party has always been identified with what we call the traditional or classic opposition, and everyone is asking what happened to this opposition. Kasi now we're seeing a new opposition, quote unquote, emerging, at hindi namin nakikita yung presence o hindi nararamdaman ng tao yung presence ng traditional opposition. And I want to ask you, ano na ba, in your assessment, ang status nga ng, eto, yung tingin namin, yung the pink wave na ngayon, eto, yung grupo nyo, the traditional opposition, what's happening? We don't even know kung sino ngayon ang leader nitong traditional opposition. Who is the leader right now?
The opposition leader right now, the de facto opposition leader, is actually Senator Risa Hontiveros. She is allied to our party. And LP remains to be a traditional political party. But precisely, we want to project a more dynamic national party. While it is a traditional party, we want it to be more dynamic and more receptive and more cognizant of the present situation, where two powerful blocs are fighting it out. Now, and that is why, sa pamamagitan nga ng ML, we can further add the presence and the visibility in the landscape, in the political landscape, through the ML, and reproject LP as the true opposition. And that is what we are, the true or genuine opposition, independent of these two warring political blocs.
Okay.
We want to do more, we want to be seen more, and we want to be appreciated more through more people running, and of course through this new party list of ML.
Ma'am, pero wala ba bang concern o worry kayo na magiging controversial itong desisyon ng LP to field dun sa party list? Kasi kahit pa paano po, LP is the former ruling administration party noong 2010, now running under a system that is supposed to provide a forum for marginalized groups. Now, I understand po, the Supreme Court naman ruled na pwede, provided that
Yes.
a political party can show it represents the interest of the marginalized. But at the same time, it's still, wouldn't it also still leave leave questions for people na parang, paano yung mga marginalized talaga? Magsasaka and so on down the line. Kasi for the longest time, di ba, political groupings have been masquerading as marginalized groups to get into the party list system. Wouldn't that also affect the image of the LP?
Let me clarify that the ML, while the sectoral wing of the LP remains to be, it has a separate, distinct personality catering to various sectoral groups. We do have sectoral groups from among the ranks of women, the marginalized sectors, women, youth, farmers, fisher folks, workers, IPs, and the main champion, of course, is our second nominee, Ted Bagila, and then LGBT and urban poor. We do have those sectors. So we need to really show more about LP's concern towards these marginalized sectors, and that these marginal sectors be further empowered through proposed for appropriate or necessary pieces of legislation that would further improve and enhance the plight of these sectors. So it's not just about, yes, we are expanding the base of the LP, although our focus now is to regroup, reignite from the kakamping base. But then again, there are marginalized members, marginalized sectors. And through the ML, while we continue to push and promote and enhance the image of the Liberal Party, we shall be catering also and attending to the needs of the marginalized sectors covered by our ML.
Okay, Senator De Lima, one last question before we go. You still have a number of congressmen in the House of Representatives, some members, who seem to be siding with the administration. Is this is this cleared with the party? Is this a party position to align itself with the administration?
There is no such party position or inclination or plan to align itself with the Marcos administration. We are an independent opposition group. We are an independent opposition party, and that we engage in political discourses based on issues. So it depends on the issues concerned. And it just so happened that there are more issues that seem to be aligned with the position of the BBM administration rather than that of the Duterte group, the Duterte power bloc. Especially now, with all of these controversies, these issues, these revelations coming out in all those hearings, the Senate inquiries, the Quadcom hearings, now we can see how bankrupt the Duterte power bloc is. Ang daming mga lumalabas. Now, hindi kami pumapanig sa BBM administration for the sake of being politically allied with them, because we are not politically allied with them, because there are still issues that we hold them to account.
Officially.
Yes.
So, wala kayong balak na because I'm just asking this because former Senator Antonio Trillanes broached the idea na magkaroon ng alliance between at least some members of the Liberal Party and of course the Marcos administration. Talaga bang completely close na kayo to that proposal?
As of now, the LP leadership is not inclined to do that. Because how can we be an opposition if we align with them? And again, there are issues also. You know, we have core liberal members. We have really those who have been there during the martial law years and up to now. Then how can we ever explain that to them? Aligning this time with the previous the successor, the son of the previous dictator, where there are issues that are still unresolved. So it's basically on principles that we are not inclined to really align politically with the BBM group.
Okay, thank you for joining the Storycon, former Senator Leila de Lima.